Hey everybody, today we're taking a look at Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection Big Time. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent and today we're using my new phone to try out this setup. So I'm not quite sure about it yet. I changed if you watch what was it? The overview I just did of Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle Book 3. I did it on my regular ring light tripod thing. So I've changed it now. I've got it to the left, but I still think it's a little awkward because I'm bending over this thing a little bit. So if you're looking up my nose, I'm sorry, but maybe you can tell me if I got something wrong up there. Anyway, Amazing Spider-Man Big Time. This is a Marvel Modern Era Epic Collection. This is volume 14 of that era of Amazing Spider-Man. And their Amazing Spider-Man starts, I believe, with the JMS stuff is volume 1, and that volume 1 is out already. I do have those in older trade paperbacks, but I'm thinking about upgrading those because I don't have any Big Time era stuff. I don't have One More Day stuff. And I want that, to me, that's my Spider-Man. I grew up reading that Spider-Man. I started with JMS. I read all the way through his stuff into Dan Slott's run. And Dan Slott's run with this here at Big Time through, oh gosh, Superior Spider-Man is just phenomenal stuff. And then you get to Spider-Universe, Spider-Geddon. All that stuff is just amazing. So that's my Spider-Man. And I read that that's Brent in high school in the 2000s through college, through getting my first apartment with my wife after we got married. That's my Spider-Man. So I want that run in nice collections. So I think I'm going to get rid of my older trades because it's just 9 trades from the JMS stuff. And then I'll have the Big Time, I'll collect them as they come out. So excited about that. I'm doing the same thing actually with the Ultimate Spider-Man stuff just because I read all of those trades and, I'm looking at them over here and that's what I'm looking at. And there's some of them are a bit run down because I had to track them down and stuff. Now that I've read all of them and done reviews of each individual storyline on this channel, you can check out the Spider-Man playlist for all those or just search Ultimate Spider-Man. I think I have 2 more left to do. I've read the Death of Spider-Man Prelude and I have to read the Death of Spider-Man and then that Peter Parker era is done. But I want to upgrade into the modern era Epic collections because I do like how those look. And it's not this red, blue, and it'll last a little bit longer, right? They've gotten better at making these books. Anyway, Big Time. All right, so where does this take place? Obviously, this is from 2010 through 2011, volume number 14. Somehow that works. Amazing Spider. If it's 14, well, they had a lot of Amazing Spider-Man. They must have mapped it already, right? To have this labeled as volume 14. Amazing Spider-Man 649 through 662, 654.1, and material from 648. So, JMS started with issue number, I want to say it was 30 of this volume of Amazing Spider-Man, or volume 2. And then eventually when they got to 500, they renamed it. And then following the One More Day storyline, you had the Brand New Day storyline. And that is where they started pumping out Spider-Man 3 times a month. And that was a lot of Spider-Man. This is all mostly written by Dan Slott. And a lot of the art is done in here by Humberto Ramos. And I love me some Humberto Ramos. I liked his stuff on, he did the Peter Parker Spider-Man relaunch with Paul Jenkins. I liked his stuff there when I was in late middle school, early high school. And then he did the Civil War Wolverine miniseries, I think was the thing he did a little bit before this. Or not miniseries. He was on that book for a good 6 or 7 issues with Mark Guggenheim. And then he jumps over to here and becomes basically Spider-Man's full-time artist. There's a lot of his stuff in here. So if you're not a Humberto Ramos fan, I'm sorry. But he's awesome. I love his stuff. I find that his characters are fun to look at. His expressions are outlandish. His posing is fun. Like to me, every image of his is fun to look at, and because also, he's not just an artist; he's a cartoonist. Everybody here has a distinct silhouette and a distinct shape. Martin Max is the head of Horizon Labs here. He's got a distinct shape. You could recognize him out of all these other characters. Hobgoblin makes an appearance, comes back here, and this has some really great stuff. The fun part about this book was this was like the first time in a while that, Spider-Man had gotten some new costumes. So the first couple of issues in here, Spider-Man gets a new costume or two or three, and they're all kind of suited to his needs. And it's like, yeah, if he's working, the thing here is Peter Parker is working at Horizon Labs, and with the lab's technology and resources, he can build himself some new costumes. So I believe the red and the green one are the same. They're different colors, signify different modes. I could be totally wrong. But I loved rocking this costume in the PlayStation Spider-Man video game. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 that had him. Maybe both did. Got the Scorpion get a little bit of a redesign here. And Army of the Spider Slayers. And then you have Stefano Caselli coming in here, and he's awesome. He had just, finished a lengthy run on Avengers The Initiative. His awesome stuff here. You're getting Spider Island to come after this. This has the first appearance of the Venom with Flash Thompson, Agent Venom, which is all collected in Epic Collections in 3 big volumes. If you want to read all of Flash Thompson as Venom. This issue is also in Volume 1, I believe. I did an overview of that. And then you have this No One Dies storyline with Marcos Martin, which is tugs at your heartstrings. It's an amazing storyline. And this is like his bulletproof suit because this guy is shooting people in a bank. And then we have, you dovetail into Spider-Man in the Fantastic Four. And at the same time, Hickman's run was going on, and Spider-Man joins the Future Foundation. And here's where he gets his uniform. And it was kind of fun to read this. Like, I wasn't reading Hickman's Fantastic Four at the time, but I remember reading this. I remember having fun with these issues coming out 3 times a month, and he kind of sticks to this white spider costume throughout most of the rest of this book. But these storylines are fun. Here's Spider-Man going up against the characters of, I believe this is Avengers Academy, right? The sequel to Avengers Initiative. The Looter. Some different artists in here. Is that Marcos Martin again, or that's a different guy? Javier Fernandez, there you go. Another great artist. And then you have a Spider-Man Ghost Rider Motorstorm #1. I think that's just a one-shot that is introducing a new Ghost Rider series to the world, but it's in here. But yeah, I love this era of Spider-Man. I think this is one of the more fun storylines to read, the Dan Slott run, because from here we go into Spider Island, then we go into, not the Gauntlet, what's it called? Ends of the Earth, and then we have the whole switcheroo with Dr. Octopus, and then Superior Spider-Man, and then that resolves itself and is awesome. So lots of fun times coming up for Spider-Man. I can't wait for more Epic Collections for the modern era. I'm going to go back and get the JMS ones. There's one out right now in fall of 2025 as we're recording, and I think a second one comes out here in a couple of months. So I'll be picking that up also. So yeah, can't wait for this. This is my era of Spider-Man. I love this stuff, whether people liked it or not. I think it was, the Brand New Day stuff I think was strong, but it really got really rock solid when Dan Slott came on as one writer and introduced this whole new cast with Horizon Labs with Peter. So yeah, highly recommend this stuff. Big thumbs up from me. Let me know what you guys think of this format and in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.